hold space for your darkness, a first responder mental health podcast hosted by me, Erin, where we have conversations about what it's like to perform a first responder role and the mental health challenges that can accompany it. Hello and welcome to another episode of I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness, a first responder mental health podcast. I'm your host, Erin. And today we are doing a end of 2024 wrap up. So I'm going to try to keep it, I say I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but anyone who tunes in regularly know that I usually fail in those kinds of endeavors. But I guess I want to address a couple of things. I am filming this on December 31st. So it truly is a 2024 wrap up. I guess probably the first thing that I want to say is thank you. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to listen to these conversations that I have put out during this year. This is something that I do because I'm passionate about the conversations that I'm fortunate to have and the people that I get to meet. And it's and I know I say this word a lot, and it probably sounds like I overuse it, but it's because it's said with sincerity that it truly is a privilege to have the conversations that I get to have with the guests that come on here. Like it's, I don't necessarily get to, I work from home. I've got young kids. Like I don't sort of, necessarily get out and about like a hell of a lot. So the fact that I get to have these conversations with people and, they share some dark shit with me, and I don't take that for granted. And it's not, you don't have to come on here and bare your soul. That's not necessarily what it's about, but a lot of people choose to. And I try to respect that choice that they make, and that they come on and they're really honest and authentic and talk about some of their struggles. And I really try to honor that. And I hope that I am successful. But I guess, the first cab off the rank is really just to say thank you to the people that listen, to the people that, DM me or email me or reach out in any number of ways and just be like, hey, that conversation or that episode really touched me or really resonated with me, because it's definitely lovely to hear, but it's more lovely because it's not about me, it's about the conversation that I'm having with these people. So people come on and share their experiences, and that is what is resonating. So thank you if you are one of the people who come on and number one, take the time to listen, but also have come on and shared your stories here. It has truly been incredibly meaningful to me, and this is something in my life that I don't necessarily have the time for all of the time, and you've probably perhaps noticed it. It's the release has become maybe a little more sporadic. Just trying to fit shit in. The cold hard reality is that I can't always fit this in, because it's not just the conversation that you see and that you hear. There's the editing that goes on behind it, and honestly, I don't really edit a hell of a lot, but I will re-watch and re-listen to the conversations that I have. It's really mostly to make sure that the transcript of our conversation is accurate, because for whatever reason, the AI technology does not like an Aussie accent, so it doesn't always come out overly accurate. So that's kind of the most intensive part, and obviously doing the clips and all that kind of stuff for social media. But but I do love this, and so probably moving into 2025, which, is tomorrow. When you're listening to this, I should be releasing it tomorrow afternoon. Oh, hang on. No, it'll be the 2nd. Thursday the 2nd should be coming out if you are listening. But so moving forward, like, I will probably have to just cut back to like probably every fortnight, every couple of weeks, and I might go on and off with like a conversation and then maybe a Mindfulness Monday episode. I'm really going to see how I go with it. So if I don't pop out an episode for a few weeks, it's not from a lack of caring. It's just that, I've got like my psychology studies, I've got 2 young boys, I've got my coaching, I've got, a husband, I've a life. Life gets in the way sometimes. People, like, kids get sick. I get a little overwhelmed with some of the other stuff that might be going on in my world. So, not from a lack of caring, because this really is my passion project and something that I truly enjoy, and I really just, kind of ram it into my schedule as much as I possibly can. And if you sort of follow me on the socials, you might have seen that I, in the last couple of months, I become a radio host / quasi DJ on the Thin Line Rock station. And so that's obviously like a commitment that needs to happen every single week. Anyway, just saying that I'm not stopping by any means, but there might be a little bit more like sort of few and far between in between episodes, but I will keep you updated. My aim is to, punch one out every sort of couple of weeks. And and if it's not a conversation, it'll be like a Mindfulness Monday episode. So I love doing this. I really, really do. It's not something that I thought that I would ever do. And I guess that brings me to the fact that, it's been over 12 months. It has been over 12 months of me coming up with the idea of I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. I guess growing the balls to be like, fuck it, let's just do it. And asking people to come on. And now, fortunately, a lot of the time it's people contacting me and reaching out to me saying, hey, I'd love to come be on your podcast. And nothing makes me happier. It is really, it really amazes me that, sometimes people know about it or hear about it, and that's not, not like a humble brag in any way, but it's just, you put stuff out into the ether and you don't always know who's going to see it or how it's going to come back to you or anything like that. So I guess it's just, it's really, really lovely. And just in the last 12 months, so just in 2024, I have put out, I think I counted earlier, and it's like over 30 episodes just this year alone. And so that's inclusive of, the Mindfulness Monday episodes and some of like the solo ones that I did sort of throughout the year. So it's a lot of work, but it is, a pure joy. So if you are listening, you are appreciated by me and by the people who come on who you equally reach out to say that, you heard our conversations. So that's kind of where I wanted to start. And I will sort of cover off about the guests a little bit later. But I think one of the things I wanted to cover off today, how do I say it? It's been a rough fucking month for first responders. It's been rough. There's been a lot of loss in our community in the last month. Say just the month of December. There has been a lot of suicides, a lot of line of duty deaths. People passing away from perhaps like occupational cancer. You know, it's been a shitty month. And I think, I mean, line of duty deaths are awful. But sometimes, well, not sometimes, like we know that can be a part of the job. We know that we do a dangerous job. But, you know, there have been 3 suicides within the NYPD in the last month. There was a firefighter, I don't know if he was a current or a former firefighter, who also did some Boston med or like flight paramedic work. He additionally took his life this month too. And I heard even just, I think last night or the night before, an LAPD officer took their life. We had 2 correctional officers, injured and killed by inmates. Just in like the last week around Christmas alone, there have been a few law enforcement officers who have been killed in, you know, the line of duty, like struck by vehicles, shot and killed by suspects. Like it's it has been a shitty month, and not to, you know, end end the year on a downer, but I want to acknowledge it because there are families that are grieving loved ones, whether that has been, you know, a suicide or a line of duty death. And I mean, one could argue that, you know, some of the suicides are a line of duty death, or they're definitely caused by line of duty psychological injuries. So I just, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to acknowledge that because there are people who are missing them. And, you know, it doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unnoticed by people who work in the mental health and wellness field, in, you know, first responder and veteran communities. And it fucking sucks. It sucks every time that you see it and hear it and read about it. There were even a couple back home in Australia too. It's awful. And I am one of the tiniest little fish of, you know, and a tiny little voice in a really large community. But the one thing that we have in common is that lots of people are here wanting to help people who are struggling. So if you are listening and you are one of those people, please reach out. Please talk to someone. Please acknowledge the kind of pain that you're in, and know that, you know, I don't think anyone can promise you a solution, but they can promise you help and support and assistance and someone to care. And just, you know, everyone needs assistance in a different way and in a different capacity. And, you know what, some kind of medication will work for one person, something else will work for another person, you know. And if nothing else, a lot of the guests that I have on here, they have opened up and they have shared. Some of them have, you know, even written books about their experiences, about their psychological pain and suffering and injuries. And many of them, have shared about their suicidal ideation or their suicide attempts, and the dark places that they found themselves in. And so you're not alone. And I know everyone says that, you know, you're not alone and it's okay to not be okay. It sounds like a fucking broken record, and I get it, but it's a broken record because it's actually the truth. And there are many, many people out there, and most far more qualified than me. And I don't sit here saying that I have all of the answers for you, because I don't. But I do know that there are resources available. There are so many options. And look, if you are in a very dark place, me, you know, coming in with a message of, you know, being proactive and preventative and all that kind of thing, like, that's great and it has its place. But when you're in the depths of darkness, that's not going to help you right now. And I know that. So if I'm not the right person to help you, I will fucking go to the ends of the earth to help you find the right person or the right organization or the right whatever to help you. That is what I can offer. You know, I can help you in a certain capacity up to a certain point. But when you are in need of clinical help, which there's nothing wrong with that at all, I will help you. I have the pleasure and the privilege of connecting with so many different people that if I don't know and I can't be the one to help you, and I don't know anyone where you live or, you know, whatever, I know people who can help and who can help find those resources for you. Okay. So please reach out to someone, because people care, even if you think that they don't, and people will miss you. Especially people miss you, even if you don't think that they will. Okay. I'm proof in the pudding of that. People are going to miss you. Okay. I did say I want to keep this short, so I'm going to try to, what's the word? Keep my promise. I just wanted to talk about our amazing guests that we've had, and just acknowledge them by name, because they have, you know, them taking the time has meant the world to me to come on and have these conversations, and you know, I've made some beautiful connections and friendships with people on this list. You know, it's not something that I ever really dreamed of, but when I make a connection with someone, it is deeply felt for me. And I think the people who I make those connections with, I think that they know that, or at least I hope that they know that. You know, I really try to be a very authentic person, and kind of what you see if you are watching, and what you hear, it's me. You know, the same kind of conversations that you hear me have on here, that's the same person that if we were to meet in real life, whether we just came across each other, or, you know, whether you were like a coaching client or something like that, like, this is me. There is no airs and graces. There's you know, you all know that I swear like a sailor. You know, I put, you know, a little bit of makeup, a little bit of war paint on, so I don't scare you. But besides that, this is me. All right. So I've made some really beautiful connections with some of the people on this list, and it does mean a lot to me. And everyone on the list does mean a lot, because they took their time when they didn't have to, and came on and shared their story, and not for, you know, any monetary gain, not for anything, just for the greater good. And that is what sort of is important to me. You know, you can tell a lot about a person, about the way that they carry themselves and all that kind of thing. And when someone does something, especially puts themselves out there and risks that incredible vulnerability, and talking about the deepest, darkest moments of their life, when they do that for the greater good of someone else, that's very meaningful to me. So I want to take a minute and just say thank you to. I'm gonna read a list. So forgive me if I sound a little robotic for a minute. So Deb Green, Dave, who was a correctional officer from here in Massachusetts, Chris Luttrell, Jen Lewis, James Boomhauer, or Boomer as I like to call him, Matt Pitcher, Josh Bailey, oh man, he's my lone Aussie on this list. I probably need to get some more Aussies on here. Chrissy, police wife, Justin Cott, Steve Powers, Jeff Fields, Egan Delascopos, Kenny Mitchell, Josh Grandinetti, Chris Cable Martinez, Mike Morgan, Tim Gardner, Vance Rowe, and Doug White, my final lovely guest for 2024. And I was sort of, writing the list up last night. And I don't know if any of you are also on the Thin Line Rock station and you listened to me and Josh Grandinetti and I. We did a Christmas show. We jumped on for 4 hours on the Thin Line Rock station to do a show together on Christmas Day, and he destroyed me playing games, like in the way that just embarrassed me because I was terrible at them. And he made me try to remember like the things in that song, like the 12 Days of Christmas with like the partridge in a pear tree, that one, and I did terrible at it. But it kind of made me think of that when I was writing this list last night, because out of that incredible list of people who kindly gave their time on this podcast, there were 12 law enforcement officers, 3 firefighters, 3 dispatchers, 1 correctional officer, 1 paramedic, 1 spouse, and you're going to have to bear with me in real time to see how many veterans there were. I think 7, maybe 7 veterans, finding out in real time. But yeah, anyway, that just made me think of that silly song and that list, because it is a remarkable list of, people who have dedicated their lives to service, to serving their communities, to serving their countries, both here in America and obviously Josh Bailey back home in Australia. He is a Australian Defence Force veteran as well as a former police officer. So, it goes to show that, some people are still in the professions, many have left, but the reason I've come across them is because not only did they do the job of a first responder, many of them now are in that mental health, wellness, psychoeducation field. They've written books about their, I want to say journey, about their experiences, about their challenges, their trials and tribulations, really fucking put their shit out there and really aired their dirty laundry, all of the good and all of the bad, because they want to help other people. So obviously, more recently, Doug White and his book Hiding in Plain Sight. I know that Matt Pitcher was working on a book. I am actually currently reading Jeff Fields' book, and it is funny when it was the same when I read Doug's. Like, it's weird to have a conversation with someone and either be in or have subsequently been in, or prior to talking to them, like you're kind of I get sucked in hard to books. Like, it's like, for me, it's almost like binging a television show. Like, I really live in that world. And it's very I don't know what the right word is. It is, but it's strange to live in kind of someone's world in my head when I'm reading about their life and then speak to them or have spoken to them and then had a really lovely, beautiful connection and then be sort of living in their world afterwards. It's, you know, I put myself out there in a certain way, in a certain aspect, but you know, there are obviously some things I still keep personal and private, and that is, you know, more out of respect for like my family and my husband in particular, because he is not a social media person. So it's, you know, people like Doug and people like Jeff, and I know, you know, Matt's probably working on it too. Like they really put themselves out there, and it's incredibly admirable because it's scary. It's scary to air your dirty laundry, and I think it was like part of the conversation I was having with Doug, you know, just the other day. Like, you don't know what's going to come back, and you can't control what's going to come back. And it was like kind of like a sort of something that he said that really resonated. It's like, I've given you all of the ammunition you need to take shots at me in a very personal sense. And that's scary. It actually really is. And so I have a lot of respect for them, for just, you know, going, you know what, like this is bigger than me, even though it's my story and it's my experiences and it's my struggles and triumphs and challenges and all of the things. It's bigger than me, and that's why it needs to be shared. And I think that's yeah, I have a lot of respect for them for being open and honest and strong and courageous enough for doing that. So I take my hat off to those gentlemen and everyone on that list I read out, and as you can, you know, go down and see through the episodes, all of the people who have given their time to come on here. It means a lot. What are we at? Can I keep this under 30 minutes? I'm gonna try. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to jump on and say. You know, I guess the other thing is that, quickly before I go, which I might ruin my 30-minute rule, you know, people on here that I've interviewed also, you know, provide a lot of resources, which again is another wonderful thing about the people that I meet. So you've got Kenny Mitchell with Operation Yellow Tape. Steve Powers has #BuddyCheck, where they go around and provide, you know, psychoeducation, all that kind of thing. I know you've got Vance Rowe with Yoga Rescue. Doug White, obviously, with his book, and he's also open to, you know, speaking engagements. Chrissy has the Police Wife Academy. I think Jeff Fields engages in public speaking and stuff too. Who am I missing? You've got Josh Bailey, who's a therapist back home in Australia, treating people like him who needed some help. Chris Martinez, he became a breathwork facilitator and wrote his lovely book. Oh, he wrote a book. Yes, it was a the different breathwork methods and all that kind of thing. You've got Tim Gardner with Operation Righteous Valor. You've got Egan, who the firefighter from California, and he's got the First Wellness with like the nutritional coaching and all that kind of thing. Josh Grandinetti, how can I forget Josh? I've been talking to that bloke a lot lately because of the Thin Line Rock Station Foundation Fortified. A wonderful, wonderful resource for first responders and emergency services members with a targeted, structured practice of mindfulness meditation that he has written. He is a qualified instructor, and he has written these courses and these programs for our population. So there are so many, and I'm probably forgetting someone. And James Broomer with Stay Fit for Duty. Crap, I hope I'm looking at the list in real time. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. If I did, I am very apologetic. But yeah, so not only do I get to have these beautiful conversations on here, I just fucked myself for the 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I get to find out about all these amazing resources, like even my conversation with Mike Morgan and hearing about, the benefits of him engaging in ayahuasca treatment, or I don't know what you would call it. Might not necessarily be treatment, but the ayahuasca experiences have helped heal him in his, psychological healing journey. So that's the other part of why I love doing this, is because I not only get to meet these amazing people, I get to learn so many different aspects of wellness and so many different resources that are available to this community. So yeah, I think I'm walking out of 2024 very, very grateful for the year that I've had, what would I say it? Like the support that I've been given by people in this community, as well as, obviously like my friends and family. I turned 40 this year, which I loved and was here for. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and some people like to freak out about it, but I just owned it and was like, fuck yes. I celebrated my, 10th wedding anniversary. I, am like full steam ahead with my psych studies. There, got a new gig at the Thin Line Rock Station. There's lots going on. This has been a really big and busy year. And I don't know what next year is going to bring, but I hope it is a good one. And, I think we have, some kind of power in making it a good one, by continuing on with healthy practices, being proactive and preventative, which I bang on about, but I walk my talk. I don't say anything or do anything that I don't either myself do or engage in or have tried, or all of the things. I'm a big person, especially when it comes to my kids. I think leading by example is important. So that's what I choose to do and try to do. So I do it with my kids, and I try to do it with this community too, because I'm not going to sit here and try to peddle bullshit at you that I don't think is worthy of your time or my time, or isn't a good practice or a good strategy or skill to develop or anything like that. So, all right, I'm rambling now. Sorry. I'm going to let you go. Honestly, thank you. I hope you have gotten through this year successfully. And I look forward to spending some more time with you in 2025. Can you believe it? Yeah. Anyone wanting to be a guest, you guys know you can always reach out. If you just want to reach out and be like, hey, I listened to you ramble on your final episode for the year, maybe try to cut that shit out, you can DM me, Erin Jane Coaching. All right, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been another episode of I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. I've been your host, Erin Jane. And as always, let me listen in a way you've never been heard. Cheers. Hi, guys. It's Erin Jane here. Firstly, thank you for listening to I Will Hold Space for Your Darkness. This podcast really is for you, the listener. And I hope you're finding as much value in listening to these conversations as I am in having them. If you'd like to offer any feedback, suggest a subject matter, are interested in being a podcast guest, or would like to get in contact to receive first responder life and wellness coaching services, please reach out. You can find me on Instagram at Erin Jane Coaching, or the dedicated podcast account erinjane_darkness podcast, or my website, www.erinjanecoaching.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm so grateful to have you as part of this darkness community. Cheers.